Generally, we think of disposal simply as throwing something away. For marketers, there's a little more to it than that, and disposal can be described as how consumers discard of or eliminate products from their lives. These products may have become unusable, fulfilled a need, or may still be perfectly fine and simply unwanted. Marketing and consumer behavior research has traditionally focused on the buying process and pre-purchase behavior with little attention given to disposal. This may be due to disposal being considered a simple process, but consumers dispose of products in a variety of ways and for a variety of reasons. The disposal process for one consumer can even be considered the start of another consumer's buying process in some cases. While there isn't much research in the area of disposal, several articles provide us with initial insights into disposal tendencies. Part of this insight comes from why consumers keep products rather than why they dispose of them. In their 2012 research on hoarding, Guillard and Pinson suggest that consumers keep products for their sentimental, social, economic, and their instrumental value. Sentimental value refers to emotional attachment to the product in question, social to the potential value it represents to someone else, economic to the product's actual monetary value, and instrumental to the product's utility. While Guillard and Pinson's research was focused on hoarding, these ideas can be transferred over to non-hoarders as well. This is reflected in Haas et al.'s product retention theory. This theory describes a consumer's general propensity to retain possessions and provides reasons similar to those in Guillard and Pinson's research. As for research directly related to disposal, Harrell and McConaughey provide some insight. They propose that there are two kinds of disposers, planned and spontaneous, who decide to keep, throw away, sell, donate, or pass along their belongings. Notably, they found several demographic trends in these decisions. Younger people are less concerned with accumulation, but are still more likely to throw things away. This changed with age, as older people are more likely to donate and homeowners are less likely to throw things away. People with college degrees were also found to be more likely to pass along their old belongings, while the decision to sell goods was not tied to any demographic. Finally, Lastovica and Fernandez found that disposal can be ritualized. In some cases, products may have become associated with a negative past self of a consumer, such as a wedding dress from a failed marriage. In these cases, the disposal process helps to distance the consumer from the past self. However, if there is a positive association with that past self, the disposer may try and find a suitable owner to take possession of the belonging. Going back to the example of the wedding dress, this may include passing it on to a daughter or niece. Given the common stereotype of the starving student, we decided to look into what university students do or do not dispose of, and why. Brief questionnaires were handed out to students, and students who participated in these questionnaires were also given the opportunity to participate in a voluntary interview. The majority of the students sampled were in their third year of study or were graduating at the end of the term, and were enrolled in a wide variety of programs and faculties. From the questionnaire, we found that roughly 60% of students were paying for their education themselves, while others had some form of financial assistance. 74% of the students sampled lived away from home. When asked about their disposal habits, 65% of students stated that they did not have a hard time throwing away products, while 75% said that they don't keep any collections. Students were also asked about how frequently they conducted a purge of their belongings, and all respondents answered that they had purged before. From the questionnaires, three students, Rowan, Ainsley, and Mitch, were willing to participate in interviews. These interviews were loosely structured and allowed us to expand on several of the areas initially explored in the questionnaire.
My name's Rowan. I'm 20. No, that's a lie. I'm 21. As of 2 days ago. I'm from northern BC and I moved here last year, so I'm in my third year now. I did a first year before transferring here. I'm majoring in law and minoring in women's studies. I tend to have like an excess of like hair products and stuff that I just like keep in a box under my bed. Clothes I don't tend to like throw out. I tend to like donate those, but I do tend to like keep them for way longer than like I need to. I throw out empty things. I tend like if I try things and I don't like them, I like, oh, I spent $20 on this. I don't want to just throw it out, so then it just goes under the bed forever. Or I'm one of those people that like sees things in store and is like, I don't need this, but I want it. So then I end up having like 6 different hairsprays just because I fall for those traps. So
Okay.
then, yeah, I'll tend to just use one and the rest of them just go away. Like I'll probably use it eventually, but it's like I have 3 different types and like I like this one best, so I'll use that one until it's empty, and then I'll probably either replace that one or go to a different one that I have. Like, are we talking about hair products or like clothes?
It can
or
be
what?
anything.
Well, like I wouldn't want to throw out like clothes that I like, but if I don't like them anymore, they don't fit properly, I don't throw them out, but I do give them away without really caring about it. Probably I had too much stuff. I still have too much stuff, and it's just like if there's things that I don't wear for an extended period of time, or there's things I don't use for an extended period of time, I don't need it, so I tend to just get rid of them. Last semester I went through, like in September, because I moved all my stuff at the end of last year without like really looking at what stuff I wanted to keep or not. So then in September I went through like clothes, like scarves and sweaters and t-shirts and stuff, and then donated stuff that didn't fit, that I hadn't like been able to try on at all over the summer when I wasn't here, just like in the donation bins that they have like on campus and near Haven. Dropped a bunch of stuff off there. Just like I have to feel very motivated to do it though. Yeah, sometimes when I think that like I don't really need something, but then I'm like, oh well, like somebody gave it to me, or like even though I'll probably never use it, or I don't like it, like somebody gave it to me, or like I spent a lot of money on it, so I can't really justify throwing it out. Like jackets, which are like quite expensive, so I don't be like, oh I spent $200 on this, and like, so I'm just not gonna wear it anymore. I mean, I guess if like any of my roommates wanted something, then I would give it directly to them. Like I did that, going back to something that I couldn't think of just to throw out, was like a ring from an ex-boyfriend. I was like, I do not want this, but I don't know what to do with it. I can't just throw it out because like it was expensive. So I actually gave it to one of my roommates. Lexi actually wears the ring that I gave her. So yeah, it's basically if somebody I know will take it, then I'll give it to them. Otherwise I'll just donate it or throw it out. Like jewelry, if it's from somebody like important. Yeah, it's not like specific products, it's just like, I don't know, like if it was expensive, if it was from somebody like special. Well, like I would rather donate them than throw them out. Like if it's something that I don't need anymore, I don't wear it, like I have no use for it, and somebody else would, just like morally, I don't think I could just like throw it out. Like I've tried to sell things online, like I have a mattress topper that I've had from living in res that I posted online like twice and nobody ever wanted, so like that's just sitting in the basement. So I think it's probably more just convenience, like knowing that I can just get rid of this instead of posting something online for $10 and having to meet with somebody.
Rowan does not seem to have a hard time disposing of things in general, but may have a hard time throwing away objects that have any kind of financial or emotional value. Hairspray, an old ring, and clothes are among the items that she has difficulty putting in the garbage, but she seems to be okay with donating them or giving them away to friends. Rowan does appear to use disposal to distance herself from products with negative connotations, but the majority of her disposal decisions appear to be based on the product's utility.
Mitchell Wood, 20, from Guelph, first year, economics student. Well, with food, I feel like I just throw it out right when I'm done, or like garbage, but I guess I still have some like old clothes that I never wear that I still have. Yeah, I would say never know like if I'm gonna wear it again or not, and don't really just want to throw it out. Probably just donate it, but it's kind of a hassle to do. Yeah, I guess like if I have like something that's cheap and just just a hassle to have or something, like it could be useful in the future, and you could easily just get it again. I might just like throw it out. Not as a student, but sometimes like my parents would say, get your clothes up or donate and stuff. So. For like some cleaning supplies I probably won't keep around, probably just throw those out. Maybe even my bed sheets, because it's different size beds. My dad got me this necklace. I wear it a lot. But that's it's like a birthday present. No. Just yeah, it's like sentimental. Like it'd be really, like, I feel like it'd be like really disrespectful to my dad if I just sold it, because he wanted it to be like, because he wants it to be like kind of like a sentimental thing. Like I'd give it to like my son. Yeah, like I wouldn't just give it away to anybody. It'd have to be like someone special. I just feel like it kind of just gets old. You don't really like want to like wear like the same thing forever and ever. Say like even like technology, like your phone or something always upgrades, so you always want like something better. So that might be like the main reason. No. I can never just go through my stuff, like I need to get rid of this. I kind of just, if I ever just like notice something like that needs to get rid of, I just kind of get rid of one thing at a time. I have some old jerseys, I guess, but like I don't really know where they are, and they're kind of just wherever. No.
No.
I kind of already like got rid of some of them, so.
Similar to Rowan, Mitchell's disposal decisions appear to be driven by utility. Products that he can still use or may need to use again remain, while others are discarded. If the product is easy to replace, Mitchell will not shy away from discarding it either. Notably, Mitchell stated that he has sentimental attachments to very few of his belongings and would prefer to pass those few on to a suitable recipient.
I'm a fourth-year student at Carleton. I'm in a Bachelor of Commerce with a concentration in International Business, and I'm from Peterborough, Ontario. I guess it depends on the type of product. Like with clothes, I'm really bad at getting rid of clothes I don't wear. But with like food or, I don't know, like just general products, I'm pretty good at throwing them out. If it's not finished, like I'll make sure I use it all, because I'm spending my own money on it, so I don't want to waste that. And with food, if it's not bad, like there's no use throwing it out. Well, I guess like with my roommates, we share a lot of our food and steal from each other, so you're not really throwing out stuff because they might use it too. But like with my family, they send me like some money for groceries, but I spend a lot of stuff, like I buy things with my own money, so I guess that affects my disposal habits. I think if I had more, income, if it was higher, I might be less cautious of throwing things out early, but paying for like my schooling myself, I do tend to pay more attention to make sure I'm not wasting my money. Yeah, if I'm gonna like clean my room, I'll do a complete clean, and I do throw out the papers I don't need when I actually go through it. And I'm pretty good at getting rid of clothes when I do go through my clothes, but I'm not good at doing like a bit here and there. Sometimes I find it hard to get rid of clothes, just because I'm like, oh, I might wear this again, but I'm pretty good at like, okay, no, I haven't worn this in a year, at getting rid of it. But I feel bad if it's like my grandma bought it for me. No. I feel like I have like a cleaner room, and that's a nice feeling.
Okay.
Feeling less cluttered. I think I get rid of things because I don't use them anymore, or I don't wear them anymore. Clothes will donate usually. And when we got rid of like some of my furniture when I was like moving, we donated that too. But like the papers, that's just going in the garbage. With the furniture I did a little bit, but like with my clothes I just feel like it's too much work and I'd rather just donate it and get rid of it right away. My parents had bought it because I was older. They kind of wanted me to try and sell it first, but I was moving from my place before this one, so I didn't have a lot of time. So I ended up putting most of them up for free because I just wanted to get them out so I could move. No, not really. Like I have one collection, it's kind of dorky. It's my Disney pin collection, but it's like a family thing, like all my sisters do it too. But like other than that, no. So this is my pin collection. You buy the pins in Disney World and all the cast members have lanyards and you can go and trade with them. And you can trade with other people too, but the cast members have to trade with you if you ask. So it's just like a family thing. My 3 little sisters and I all have them, and it's just kind of like a Christmas gift we get every year. So when we go back, because we go every other year as a vacation, we have new pins to trade. No, I don't know. I mean, the graduation one's nice. My parents bought it for me when I graduated high school. It's just like a nice way to celebrate, like instead of flowers, I guess it lasts longer. We have like a few, because my dad buys ones really cheap, so then we get a good deal. When we go there, we trade for like the better ones. So I guess like the few like I got for Christmas this year, I will trade away when I go back. If I was gonna give them, I'd give them to my sisters, but I can't imagine doing that anytime soon. Not too much larger, I don't think. Like, I think there's a point where I wouldn't know what to do with it. If I don't have like anything, like anywhere to put them or anything to do with them, then they're just gonna be like thrown in a corner somewhere, and there's no real point having them. That's me when I'd start passing them down to my sisters. Colorado's my favorite team, so it's actually Joe Sakic jersey, and he's the person I looked up to my whole life playing hockey. So my uncle, like, it's kind of a weird story. He worked for like a truck transport company, and I guess like this jersey went missing before the shipment went out. Someone like stole it, and so they shipped a new one out before they found the guy who stole it. So he just bought it because they'd already shipped a new one to Joe Sakic. And then my dad bought it off him for a Christmas present. So it's like actually was supposed to be worn by Joe Sakic, which is pretty cool. No, it's my favorite player. I'm like hoping one day I can get it signed by him. Yeah, I think it would just be someone who like loved the game of hockey, and preferably someone who looked up to Joe Sakic as well, because then it's going to mean more to them than if it's someone they've never heard of.
Ainsley was the only interviewee to say she had a collection. Her collection of Disney pins is a shared hobby with her sisters, but also helps her to connect with her father, who purchases the pins, as well as remind her of her family vacations and special events. Certain pins in the collection have been set apart to be traded away because they either are not as nice as the others, or they were destined to be traded when they were purchased. Items with sentimental value are very important to Ainsley. She has had the jersey on her wall for as long as she can remember, and is deeply attached to it both because of how her family gave it to her and its connection to Joe Sakic. For items like these, it is very important to her that they be given to the right people if she were to get rid of them. While she would give her pins to her sisters, she would not give them the jersey because they don't share her love for hockey. In conclusion, we found that students are generally very pragmatic when it comes to disposal. Products that have outlived their use are disposed of in the most convenient way possible, and once disposed of, are out of sight and out of mind. Generally, this means throwing them away, but can also mean donation. Students generally view selling items as too much effort. Students do have belongings they do not dispose of due to emotional attachment, but when questioned further about the items, revealed that if they had to, these items would have to be given to the right owner. Another factor that made it difficult for students to dispose of items was their economic value, as seen with Rowan's ring. Interestingly, in this case, though the ring had a negative connotation with it, Rowan still ensured the ring was passed on to someone who would take care of it. Instances of mass disposal, or purging, generally occurred when it was convenient for students, either at the end of the semester, during a move, or simply as desired. While students' budgets may be tight, our research shows that practicality prevails and students prefer not to burden themselves with a mountain of frivolous possessions. Further research into this area could look at the effects age, year of study, program, and level of study have on students' disposal habits.